Hello and welcome to Bilingual. I'm Blessing. I hope you've been doing great. Today, I'm bringing you an interesting aspect of the Ibibio language lesson, and it promises to be the basics, and that has to do with your self-introduction. This lesson promises to be brief, but then very important because it entails what you know about yourself and how you can use the people language to talk about yourself. Basically, to introduce yourself, you have to start with greetings. So, knowing the greetings in Ibibio is very important. For instance, ite amesiero, that's in the morning, and amesiere structurally doesn't mean good morning, but literally as an Ibibio person, that is good morning. Ite amesiero. Then he's to respond you amesierende. Is to respond with amesierende. Then you can go ahead to say ete mokomo and etiero. Then if the person is sitting, tiero if it's one person, or etiero if there are many people. Then the last greeting for the night or for the day is esiero. Esiero literally means good night. All right. Now, once you're done with the greetings, the next thing for you to do is your self-introduction, which starts with your name. So, what is your name? Akeredie Anami Ado. My name is. Or Aminkere. My name is. You can also continue by saying Amindoyan or Amindowan or Amindoebe. That means I am the child of. You mention your father. I am the wife of. Or I'm the husband of, which happens to be more information about you. Then you can move to talking about your location. By talking about your location means where you live, where you stay, where you're from, where you married, and so on. So for instance, your location, you can say, I'm in Donkey. That means I live at. You mention the place you live. Then I'm into. That means I am from. I'm into. I am from. You mention where you are from. I'm into. You mention I am from. I'm into Akwa Ibom. Then you can also say Amindo Owo Ibibio. For instance, Amindo Owo. You mention the place. It still means I'm from, or I'm Ibibio, I'm Igbo, I'm Hausa. So Ami Ndowo Atang, you mention the place that you are from. You can also say Nke Mana Nyongbon Ke. You mention where you were born. That means I was born and raised at. I was born and raised at. So Ami Nke Mana Nyongbon Ke. You mention the place. I was born and raised at. You mention. Then you can also give further information about your location. Nke Sidonke, I previously lived at. That is your previous place of living or your previous resident. Ami Nke Sidonke, that means I previously lived at. Or you can say Ndoebe Ke, you mention, or Ndowan Ke. That means the place your husband is from, or the place your wife is from. Ndoebe Ke, I'm married to an. You put where your husband is from or your wife is. Alright? I'm married to an Ibibio woman. I'm married to an Anambra woman. I'm married to an Akwa Ibom woman. I'm married to an Abia State woman, or I'm married to a Cross-Siberian. Alright? So anyone you want to put there, wherever it's about you. Then once you are done with that, you can now talk about your position and the company you are working. For instance, nnamotom ye, or nnamotom ke, or nnamotom no. That means you are working with, or you're working for, or you're working at. And then kube utomesege. That means the department you are working under. If you're not working with other companies or you're a teacher, you can possibly say Amindo and Dikbe K. You mentioned the school. Your qualifications. Your qualifications. Then you can say Aminya sub with. That means I'm about to graduate. Could be from higher institution or from secondary school. So, or you can say ke secondary. That means my level of education stops at the secondary. My level of education stops at the secondary. Or I only attend secondary level of education. I only attend the secondary level of education. Then your course of study or field of specialty. Aminke could you mention your field of specialty? Ke uform with ntaifio. That means I studied dash in the university. I studied linguistics in the university. So key in Ibibio, I will say Aminke could usem go form with ntaifio. That means I have BA in, you mentioned linguistics, for instance. Then you can further say nsokmba kube. That means I'm undergoing a study or a course. I'm undergoing a study or a course. That means nsokmba kube. Then the next thing to look into is experience. Your experience. What are your experience? Where have you worked before? So if this kind of question comes up, what would you say in Ibibio? I mean, medak namutom ye. That means I have worked with. You mentioned the company you have worked with. I mean, medak namutom ye. You mentioned the company you've worked with. Maybe your level of experience. I mean, menu kine ye feel. Edina mutomomi. Siadom medak namutomomi. Kem ufangiswa ita akebo yoke. That means that I'm experienced on this job because I have worked on this position before and I have 3 years experience. Your family. You can give information such as how many are you in your family? What is your position in the family? I mean, I'm from the family of 5. Then you can also say Nyan Ido. That means we are 5 in our family. Nyanido Iba Kiba. That means we are 2 in number. Then you can also say Amindo Oyoroyan Itiaba. I am the 7th child. Or Nyanido Iban Ita Iden Ina. We are 3 girls and 4 boys. Or you can say, Aminie ndito ition. I have 5 children. Or Amindo ibomoyan. I am the only child. Then you can talk about your hobbies. Your hobbies are those things you love doing and you like doing them anytime, any day, no matter what. So, for instance, Ami mema ndiko with, or Ami mema edite modia. I love reading and I love cooking. Mema nditem ndidia. I love cooking. So you can talk about your age. How old are you? Amindo iswa ita. I am 3 years old. Ngedo ebe kida iswa efreke. That means I was married, or I got married at the age of 16. I got married at the age of 16. Then it came me and my son. My father was old. Now you can continue by giving some fun facts about yourself. What are the fun facts about you? Ami meseta nkum bobo. That means I do eat unripe pawpaw. Okay, so come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you've learned something. And with this lesson, I'm certain and I'm confident that you will introduce yourself using the Ibibio language. Good to know that. See you in our next lesson. Bye for now.